We have to repeat all that for people on YouTube. Thanks for joining us here on the Wonderfair Home Shopping Network. We're late today by 20 whole dang minutes because it was just one phone call after another here. I would hang up one, phone would ring immediately.
Well, first I was on a longer help call, which I enjoyed.
Right.
And there was never a call waiting, which I feel is odd.
And then they all came.
And then as Paul said, it was a cavalcade, a cascade even. I feel like we're being trolled.
What a day.
I feel like... Bye. Well, folks, this is the kind of movie magic you can only get out of your small town home shopping network. I mean, I don't know if you're watching from Lawrence. I assume you're from your own charming and quaint small town where you have a local home shopping network. And if you'd ever like to swap shopping networks with us, that could be fun. We could work that out. It's Wednesday. We've discussed that means it's hump day, which specifically refers to the humps of a camel. We don't know if it's a 2-hump camel or a 1-hump camel, but either way, we're on the ride across the arid desert plains of the work week. I really stretched it out for you, Polly.
Thanks.
And I got to use the word arid, which I enjoyed.
Yeah, good.
The weather's been great here in Kansas, though. Am I not correct?
It's going good, yeah.
The weather is lovely. The pollen is high. That part we don't like.
Yeah.
And Dave hasn't gotten up for his noon.
Yeah, he's really snoozing it up. All right. Well, let's settle in here. Thanks for joining us today.
Oh my gosh. Y'all, it's hard to run an online business.
Sometimes it gets hard. So today on the show, I think we probably got Nikita coming in probably in mere minutes. She's usually here around 12:30. We're just getting started though. I was thinking we'd do some cleanup from yesterday. We talked a lot of markers. Tubular Tuesday. Did you want to get into those?
Well, I didn't finish.
I know you didn't finish.
I finish?
We could finish before we get there. In local news, there's a new parking manager in Lawrence. That's exciting. New person in charge of parking.
Hold up. Was there an old parking manager?
I assume there was.
Wow.
So we got a new parking manager.
Could we call them a czar?
I don't know if I want to get into that.
Well, I just think we have czars of other things I've recently learned because pandemic. No, government. Yeah. It's weird though. I guess I don't like it.
Are those official titles?
I believe.
I don't think they're official titles.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, we'll need a fact check on that.
That's just kind of like authoritarian.
You're right.
To call somebody a czar. Parking manager, he reports to us. So what do you have to say about parking, Meredith?
Well, I'm enjoying the free parking downtown. Yeah. I think it's logical that it's free right now. I'm loving it. I enjoy the Sawtooth parking, and I've decided that I will die on the Sawtooth parking hill.
Yeah, I'm into Sawtooth parking. I am, we've been talking about like this move to fancy new meters. And just so y'all know, the move to new meters is coupled with a doubling of parking rate. So it'll cost twice as much to park downtown.
I don't think we know that.
Yes, that's the proposal.
Oh, is it?
They were just going to delay the increase until the new meters had been around for like 6 months, but it's coming. That's the deal. Parking rates double when the new meters come. Is that good? I don't think so.
I mean, all of human life not just under capitalism, sort of under life, is that you trade off some expense for some convenience. So a lot of people in the pro fancy parking meters camp are excited by the opportunity to have a phone app where you can refill your meter while you're sitting in a restaurant or whatever. I do think we're living in a slightly different world than where we needed those functions in a parking meter. So I believe the city could probably just hit the snooze button on this whole parking expense for like a year and spend that money that's been earmarked for it in other ways that would benefit people living under pandemic guidelines now. So that's my stump speech. We're like a swiftly adapting species, folks. We can totally change our plans and minds when fate comes a-calling. Paul has left. I don't think I scared him off with my firm position on snoozing a parking manager taking a pause. I mean, they should keep their job, but they should manage parking the way we've been doing it. So much has changed, Paul. Do we really need to change the parking meters too? I came out with a crotchety, no change position.
Oh, great. I mean, I'm pro change, but I'd rather see it go in a different way. I like the proposal that nobody is at all taking seriously, that I've only really talked about with Kelly Corcoran, which is to install vintage parking meters, old-timey.
Even older ones.
Go even older. Because I think what people love about Lawrence is we've preserved a great downtown that has largely disappeared from a lot of cities. So we should embrace that historic tradition, put in vintage old parking meters, make parking even cheaper. And people come here because they're like, wow, I can't believe what a great deal parking is.
How much older do you think you can find a parking meter? Ours are already pretty, you just put a coin in and
you get the ones
knob.
that don't take something bigger than a nickel.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they don't take quarters.
I do not want to carry around pocketful of nickels. Your idea is terrible.
I don't know.
Okay, well.
It's essentially like, I mean, right now, you don't want to have anything that keeps people from coming downtown because the businesses, we need them to come. And so,
or to call us.
Yeah, parking increase sounds like a bad idea. People are already like, parking's a pain, and now you're going to make it both a pain and more expensive.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like a good match. Gonna have to talk to that new parking manager.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I like how entrenched you are in your position now. I feel like I would never have seen a world where yours suddenly made a little bit of sense, and now it feels like maybe.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know. So whatever comes of that, we will keep the people updated so you'll know about any changes. But I don't foresee any changes to the situation, at least before August. That was originally the plan. Maybe they'll switch the meters out, but not turn them on yet. Because they might, but I don't think they're even in a contract yet with the company. Yeah. So
forget it.
These are questions for the parking manager. Do you think we can get them on the show?
Probably. You
Let's try? That would be such a gift.
Kate says vintage parking meter on eBay, $82.50. Pays for itself in just like 1,000 days.
Honestly, I think that they were talking about like $5,000 a meter for the new fancy ones.
So that's cheaper. City saves money on meters, and everybody who comes downtown saves money on parking because they're paying with nickels now. It's great.
I have an idea. Eliminate the parking meters which take up space on the sidewalk, and just have a few well-paid, with benefits, festively dressed thespians in cool costumes that go around with a bucket and just be like, donations for parking.
There you go. Donations for parking.
I don't know. Would it work?
It could probably earn as much money. I don't know.
People get pretty grouchy about panhandling though, which I'm fine with. So I guess I'm not, that idea is not going to work. I'm taking it off the table. I will bring the idea to the parking manager on this program just to see him try to keep a straight face.
This would be great. Let's get the parking manager on.
Okay.
My sister just joined the Instagram. Hi, Angela. We're
boo-hoo.
shipping your order out today. We just got the Baron Fig stuff in stock. Yesterday on the show, we were actually talking about you and thinking like, hey, what's some other things that we can really put on the company card? You know, what sort of upsells can we be sending folks home with? Because, you got that card at home, company card, and you're sending the office supplies straight to you. Boss doesn't need to know all the cool stuff you're ordering. Take it up a notch, right?
I believe your boss probably wants you to have nice art supplies in a hard time.
Art supplies or regular old stationery supplies. Fancier paper, better notebooks. Angela ordered the, I got it right here, ready to ship, the Maruman. What's this called?
It's called the Spiral Basic Graph.
Spiral Basic Graph.
Those are just words in our system to describe it. This is sort of like Maruman's baseline affordable notebook with great quality fountain pen friendly paper, a single coil wire, so not double ring if you need it super sturdy, but honestly it does the job without double ring in it. It's just great. The grid is in a very nice light gray instead of very like a high contrast black, which I prefer. In fact, did you know My favorite grid lines are blue. I'm just telling you right now. It's an option. You can also get grid lines in red and green, probably other colors. Just throwing it out there. The phone rang again. I'm so alone. But I will carry on in Paul's absence. We were talking about the city parking manager. That was exciting news. In other Lawrence news for our viewers near and far, our neighbor's cat is lost. His name is Dennis. Dennis was last seen a few nights ago, the night of the big storm, around the corner of 6th and Louisiana. So if you see a cat that looks a lot like Dave, but with slightly different facial markings that are more like lightning bolts instead of W's. Dave's got W's on his forehead. Dennis got kind of a zigzag thing going on. Dennis is a shy weirdo who needs to be brought home. So keep your eyes out for Dennis, special cat from my neighborhood. That's the kind of local news reporting you'll get right here on the Wonder Fair Home Shopping Network, which you might be surprised here is actually a multi-level marketing tool for our downtown Lawrence stationery store. So let's talk about some stationery. Yesterday on the program, hi Nikita, we started so late.
Nice.
But we're happy to see you. Yesterday we talked about tubular markers. We didn't get all the way up to paint markers, so I'm going to just do a very brief preview of new paint marker sets we got in. We almost exclusively in the paint marker world sell two kinds of paint markers. Pin Touch, which are fabulous, old school, like your grandma probably had them, and they might still be knocking around a drawer working.
Yeah.
Those things last. It's kind of amazing, unless they're white. The chemicals in white paint just can't with life. But silver and gold, probably still good. Next up, the Poscas, though, are a newer product, also made in Japan, like so many of our wonderful art supplies.
Is that right?
Yeah, I always in my
That
heart thought
explains why they're so good.
it does. They've just got it going on there. So Poscas are really reliable. Unlike mini paint markers, they don't have that tendency to be like hard to press down and get the ink out, and then they splooge all at once. Instead, you're going to get nice consistent lines out of a Posca. If you're careful with the nibs, they won't fray out too quickly, though they will fray out eventually. Especially if you have sample pens out and small children just smash those bad boys. Let's take a moment for all the Poscas we've lost in the store.
We took the sample pens off the floor.
We did take the sample pens off the floor. It was
Also,
just tragic, you
They're
know?
really painty.
They were dying so young.
Yeah.
Like first day out. Smoosh. Anyway, be careful with your Poscas and they'll treat you good for a long, long time. They come in lots of nib sizes.
Actually, it won't be that long because you're going to love them so much, you're going to use up all that paint.
That's true. They come in extra fines. Here's a set of extra fines. So I just got in all of the basic rainbow sets and all of the point sizes for folks. We've been selling them pretty well. This will make it easy to just one quick grab off our web store, which I'll put up later this week. A whole set of colors that'll be complementary for painting things as far flung as your windows, and then you can easily wipe it off later, or you might want to paint some garden rocks or a flower pot or your kids' shoes, or I don't know, you could probably like paint your face. I don't know that they're like makeup quality.
This is the real deal. I mean, if you're making signs for outdoor usage, forget a marker, get a paint pen.
Yep, they go on really opaque. The colors are extremely vibrant. They don't tend to fade much with light, which is nice. And again, they just work really reliably. So love a Posca. Here's a set of glittery Poscas.
What?
Sorry, Instagram.
We have
Yay!
glittery Poscas?
You didn't know that?
I guess you told me. This is not their regular line, though. Is it? Oh, no, they have these.
We also sell them open stock, but
Okay.
Posca's expanding their color range, which is a tale as old as time. We buy a display, we have every color, and then the next year a company releases like 5 new colors and our display can't hold them. So that's my complaint for the day. We don't have infinite pocket dimensions for all the markers I carry
Yet.
yet. Working on it.
We're working on it. There'll be lots of renovations when you return to Wonder Fair,
So
including
many
pocket dimensions for paint pens.
Yep. And that's where the children will go who ruin the markers.
We got some of those new colors,
One-way
right?
trip.
Mike, if you're watching, we got some of the colors
Oh,
you were
yeah,
looking
Mike.
for.
Okay, so we did add a bunch of the new colors. They don't fit in the display, but they're in the pocket dimension. Here's the medium set. That's probably the most popular size of Posca.
5M?
Yep, the 5M. They're super chunky. I like to use this size when I draw on people's delivery packages that we ship out. They just have a really, like you feel like a child discovering coloring. The lines are so juicy and powerful. I really love them.
Yeah. What kind of, I know like if you're doing these at home, what do you want to be using them on? Like just a regular old notebook?
You can totally use them on regular old notebook paper. They're not so wet that they permeate the paper fibers too much and ruin them. You could use them on the cover of the notebook. You could use them on a piece of cardboard. You could use them on your cereal box. You could use them on a piece of wood. You could use them on a plastic cup. You can pretty much write on anything with the Posca except an animal, because that would just be unfriendly. It works on over 50 surfaces, says Posca.
Over 50?
Permanent on wood, textile, cardboard, metal, ceramics, plastic. Okay, that's less than 50, but they must have just run out of space.
Yeah. Those are the top 6.
They are also removable on smooth surfaces such as glass and glazed porcelain.
Paint your windows. I've been telling you to paint your walls, paint your windows.
We actually do use a similar product when we paint on our pencil cups and all that stuff, because with just a little bit of an abrasive like sponge, you can easily use water and wipe the paint marker off, but touching it with your finger by accident won't smudge or remove it. So they're great for any kind of outdoor signage or like on glass signage. Paint a message on your glass door front to the postal and essential workers delivering things to your home. I don't know. Have fun. It's not permanent. This isn't going to last forever unless you write on wood, textile, cardboard, metal, ceramics, or plastic, in which case it is permanent.
Right. Yeah.
Options.
Or maybe the other 45 surfaces it writes on besides glass.
I can't wait to do a whole list of what those are later. I assume it's on their website. Last but not least, in Posca Town, before we invite Nikita to join us for Stationer to the Stars or
Stationer
whatever.
to the Stars, Nikita is
whatever
be here
Nikita
in just
feels
a moment.
like. I also got in a set of Poscas that come in every nib size. So,
this is great to see what's available.
Yep. This is what I would buy if I love a paint marker and just want to try out some options of what size works best for me. They're priced at $50, which for the entire set is not so rough because it comes with a super chunky monkey down here, which is like a 1-inch wide swath. Super fun for drawing.
Do we even
big
sell
size.
those? That looks really big.
Yeah.
We've got those.
We sell them, if you want to make like a protest sign.
Yeah.
You're going to need a big chunker like that. But it's going to come with the finest, including the brush tip. Posca does make a brush marker, folks. That's right.
We all should be making protest signs.
Fun fact, I believe Posca has made a new marker that I just added.
What?
Maybe that's it. They added a super chunky bullet tip. They've only ever had a super
7M.
chunky chisel.
I'm
not sure if that's it. I think they got an even chunkier one. They're in those boxes on the stoop, so we'll get to them.
New stuff.
Paul,
Gotta get that new tab on the website.
Yeah,
7M Poscas.
We got a stoop going on.
We've got some stuff on the stoop.
There's so much stuff.
I'm worried that Katie wanted that Coco Euro and that didn't come in. I don't know what's up. I gotta look at that PO on the stoop. Sorry. Internal discussion here, I guess.
True. I feel like I might have goofed it up when I ordered Coco Euros. Anyway, that's enough for us. We slipped in 20
I gotta
minutes
show these
late
chisel
today,
tips to
so-
Instagram.
Oh.
Sorry. These are so cool.
I do love a chunky chisel. You can make cool shapes with them. You can do that sign. It's like 3 lines, 2 rows of 3 lines. Then you make a steeple and a spade, and then you connect them with diagonal lines, and it makes an S. Try it with a Posca. You've never seen it like that before. That's it. That's all I got. It's
All
time.
right. Let's make room for Nikita.
With no further ado, but a little bit of a drum roll on my laptop, Nikita Mafidan will be joining us in the studio, which we will sanitize pandemic style. Hi, Nikita. Your lipstick.
Yeah, I'm having fun today.
Get
This is
ready
the only
for
time
this.
That I get to show off.
Wow.
my stuff, so.
It's so beautiful. You're beautiful. I'm excited for you all to see Nikita's look today. Oops, it's hard to climb this. Hi, babe.
He's so cute. I got to say hi to him.
Oh my gosh.
Got to greet him.
Me
I'm so excited to see him.
Oh boy. All
Little
right.
pink grumble from me.
Movie Magic. For the folks just joining us for the first time, it's been 2 months of this broadcast, and we have created this safe barrier between ourselves and our staff member, Nikita, so that we can just hang out.
Yeah, it's so
You
good.
look so great with your
Thank
blue. I've
you.
seen it at least once before, but
It's
tell
a
us
fun
who
look.
made your shade.
I actually don't remember. It's a
Don't need
super
to know.
old shade, and
We
I
don't
probably should
sell
not
them.
have it anymore. But
Does makeup go
it's
bad?
called Catalina. It's like gross after a while. I think like bacteria wise, it's like not good. But that's fine. I can't remember. It was a really like cheap brand that I
Good
got
to
from like
know.
in a pack from somewhere, and the
Ooh.
color is called Catalina, and I've hung on to it because it just means a lot to me.
It's so pretty. It's
Thank
very
you.
vibrant. I'm glad to know this about makeup because I don't really wear it, but what I do
Mhm.
own, I inherited from my mom, so it's probably all gone bad. And
It's
I
like
should
fine,
probably
right?
maybe don't. I
Sure.
still have the makeup I bought for my senior high school prom.
Good. I think that's good for you. Just use it every day.
I just feel guilty throwing it out. Like it's
Yeah.
probably bad for the environment, so I just keep it in a box.
I also feel bad getting rid of makeup because I'm like, I haven't used it all and I want to keep it,
Yeah.
but it definitely is not supposed to be kept
Yeah.
for
Okay.
multiple years, I don't think.
Good to know. If a viewer
I'm
knows
not
what
gonna
I'm
change
supposed to
that.
do with old makeup that's the most environmentally friendly choice,
a very good
I would
question.
love to know.
I would also like to
Um,
know.
Yeah. I got distracted because people were talking about glittery pasta in the comments. They,
Always.
because I don't pronounce the word pasca with enough enunciation.
Oh, they're
Pasta.
saying pasta?
Glittery pasca.
Ska.
Okay.
Ska, yeah.
Nikita.
That's what ska music is about.
That's what
Um,
our day is like. Did you
Mhm.
hear we started 20 minutes late? Because
I
we've been
heard
on
that.
those phones. So I apologize that we're getting you on a little late. But what
Oh, that's
do you
fine.
have to share with us today, Nikita?
I want to talk about Gemini season today. I'm really
Ah.
excited. A lot of stuff is in Gemini right now. I'm really feeling it, feeling very all over the place, which I
It's-
don't know if I can blame on the universe, but I'm gonna.
We're all part of the universe.
Mhm.
And you, a Gemini,
I sure
how
am.
excited
Yeah.
that everything's up in Gemini.
It's really exciting. So
Huh.
tomorrow is the start of Gemini season.
Happy season day.
Happy season day for us all. And then on Friday is the new moon in Gemini.
Oh.
So that's exciting. A whole new start for people, and hopefully one that will just bring about lots of communication skills, lots of just like interest, maybe building up some like hobbies you've been meaning to build up. Just
Why
go in
hobbies?
all different directions. Gemini is kind of all about exploring like
Oh.
interests and curiosities and like knowledge and sharing knowledge. And it's just like a fun sign. It is a little all over the place and scattered. So like that is not necessarily the most helpful for getting things done, but you do start a lot, and that's what I love to do.
I also feel like you are of the people I know, the one I learn the most variety of stuff from
Really?
because of this about you. You always have like a new suggestion. Like so many of the fun things I found were through you. Thank you
Aw.
for introducing me to Rilakuma Farm.
Oh yeah, that's my most important suggestion.
So I love it, Gemini folks. I feel like I don't know about scattered. I think they're
That's
just
a lot.
sharing their wisdom more widely than some of us, maybe more selfish folks. So
Just interested in a lot of things, and they
Yeah.
need everyone to know about them.
yeah, and you
always.
don't keep it to yourself. You always
No.
you always share
I
it.
just want everyone to join in on the fun that things that they learn. It's so fun.
So new moon, here I'm in dum dum.
No,
That
probably
doesn't
not.
mean full moon.
It's different. It's the opposite.
opposite?
You don't see the moon at all during
No
the new moon. Yeah, it's when there's just like it's just a dark sky. You're like, where's the moon? It's not visible.
I
You're not gonna see
feel like
it.
I
She's
should
there,
know
but
that, but I didn't ever really think about it.
That's okay. I mean, it's
Okay.
kind of confusing because it has like saying new moon suggests that there's going to be like something visible out there, but it's not. So it's kind of
Mhm.
like it doesn't sound like what it
Mhm.
is, you know.
Right. It's like a
Um,
hit band. It's so new, like you can't even find their
Mhm.
singles.
It's very obscure.
Online.
Yeah,
So
that's when the
obscure.
moon is the most obscure. That's
It's
hipster moon for
The
you.
hippest moon. Okay, so what is the hip moon in Gemini gonna be bringing to me?
Well, the new moon is about setting intentions because, like, basically starting at the new moon, it's kind of seen as like the beginning phase of like moon phases.
Mhm.
So that's when you set intentions for things, kind of what you want to achieve over the next moon cycle. Like, that's kind of how I use it to guide my life. It's obviously different based on the person and how they choose to use the moon, but I tend to think of it as a time to like reset and set some
Yeah.
intentions. And then Gemini, I feel like you can go a lot of ways with it. Gemini is not the most emotional of signs. It's more like, I would say, based in knowledge gaining and communication and adaptability, I guess, is another one. And I feel like those are like good ideas for like what you could set intentions around. You can kind of just set intentions as you choose, but that's just kind of, I think, where more energy is going to be going into at this time because Gemini is the focus of it. And so like basically you set intentions around like the first quarter moon phase, you kind of start to like check in, see what's going on there. The full moon is kind of when your like intentions are supposed to come to fruition.
Right.
So it's kind of fun.
So new moon, 2 weeks of waxing up to
Mhm.
full moon, and then 2 weeks of waning down to new moon.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then in between there you have all your kind of middle phases.
Well, Paul, the consummate Gemini,
Mhm.
knowledge-based communicator guy, makes sense that he's at full moon and Gemini birthday.
he seems like a Gemini to me
Mhm.
in a lot of ways. A lot of knowledge there.
It's so
A
real.
lot of things going on.
Okay. Intention setting. That feels good because we're really talking internally about as things are opening up downtown. How do we do it with a lot of intention,
Mhm.
care, and like respect for everyone involved? Staff, customers, ourselves. Dave.
Yeah.
Dave's a big part of it.
Dave is a big part of it.
So this is good timing, I think, for Gemini to
Mhm.
be in this building phase.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
It's the moon. It's like the new moon is in Gemini. The sun's going to be in Gemini for the next month. And then also Mercury is currently in Gemini and Venus is currently in Gemini.
That's
So
all
we're just really heavy Gemini right
talking and loving in Gemini.
now. Mhm.
During a global pandemic. Randy says he thinks his moon is in Gemini, which
Cute.
I feel like makes a lot of sense for you, Randy. I want to know your sun sign though. Tell me it sometime.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's important.
well, what
Um,
else you got to Gemini with us today?
That's a good question. I also just wanted to mention that we're also retrograde Saturn right now, and that's
Oh.
actually kind of helpful for this time period because while Gemini can be kind of restless and a little all over the place, having retrograde Saturn with that, like trining it, which just means it's 120 degrees apart, and it's like supposed to be a gift kind of to whatever's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Which kind of means that I think we're going to be a little more grounded than normally for Gemini,
Right,
which is like a
Sagittarius,
good combination.
Super Earth sign.
Saturn is
Saturn?
the planet,
Oh, right,
and
right.
it's like about rules and responsibility and systems. And
Oh.
so it's just kind of helpful to kind of ground that energy that's a little bit like Gemini's an air sign. It's a little bit up there. It's a little bit scattered. And I think that Saturn may help a little bit. So maybe you will actually get things done, me, in the future. That's me to
will.
myself.
Nikita, you will get things done.
I've started so many projects and
What?
I've not finished
Well,
any of them.
Your embroidery is coming along.
Yeah, I'm doing some embroidery. I'm trying to embroider some patches right now,
Oh, cute.
little felt patches. Yeah, I'm working on people's natal charts that have asked me to do them for them.
Like you're embroidering
and-
them?
No, I mean, this is a separate project.
Oh, okay.
I just have a
Like,
lot of projects
whoa.
going on. That would be amazing. I should do that. I would
mean,
not, but I should.
I'm sure it's being done somewhere.
Someone's doing it, and I'm really proud of them for putting that much effort into it. But I will not be doing that. I am typing up information.
Got it.
from
That's
people's
cool.
birth charts.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Congrats. That's like a step toward a path.
it's kind of fun. I did Lydia's. Lydia asked me to do hers, and then Jenny asked me, and I'm in the middle of working on Jenny's right now.
Two Wonder Fair BFF staffers.
Amazing humans. I love them.
I miss them.
I miss them.
I'm gonna hang out with
Uh.
Jenny tomorrow.
What?
I mean, not like close.
Yeah,
not
like at a
hugging.
distance.
We're gonna hang out distantly on our patio.
That's so exciting.
I know.
Oh, I love Jenny.
Mm.
So cute.
Okay, that was an
Um,
aside. I'm just excited.
You should be excited. Jenny's awesome. Yeah, and so yeah, hopefully that'll help bring the energy into more of a settled place. But based on my brain right now, it's not going to be the case. But we'll see. So
Is that
yeah,
because you're working a lot, Nikita.
Yeah, it doesn't really help, I guess. I do work a lot, and it's harder than it used to be. It's just more
Yes.
busy.
Would you like or not like? You don't have to. I think people might be interested to hear from your perspective what it's like to work right now.
It's pretty wild. It
Yeah.
feels very surreal sometimes. Yeah, so I work over at the Raven Bookstore over on 7th Street, and it's a wonderful place. We have lots of books that we get to people, and it's been super busy right now because a lot of people are discovering that they love to read, and it's a very helpful thing to do during this time when you can't like go out places, which is great because we've been really busy. So people have been really supporting us, and they've been like choosing to support us over like bigger places and Amazon and all that kind of stuff. But it has been very stressful just because a lot of people are still kind of expecting us to get things done in a very quick turnaround, like a very quick timeline. And we are doing the best that we can. And then shockingly, like with the warehouses and like other independent bookstores and how they're doing right now, like we're all kind of doing like better than expected time-wise. Like we're pretty quick. And right now we're actually like getting books faster than Amazon would get books. That's fun.
That was Paul's mom, everybody. We'll call her back.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, and so things are actually going really well time-wise from what we like expected, but people are still not very pleased a lot of the time with how quickly we get stuff out, which we're operating on like 3 people in the store at any given time and like kind of just like designated to our own areas. So like I feel like we're doing a lot better than I would expect at
What
this
is
time.
like an average turnaround time?
Honestly, between like 3 to 5 business days usually, which is like pretty much our like we're a little bit slower than our standard time, but like not very much. Like most of our stuff gets out within like 3 to 5 business days, which is expected time. And then some stuff just kind of gets like lost in the wind and that kind of stuff, and that's the like unfortunate aspect of what happens. But
is it very windy at the Raven?
Yes, much wind.
I see.
All the books are just flying in circles.
I mean, it sounds. Is it just because the Raven, as you know, because you're all local watching this, it's just a rookery for ravens. So it's just top of a steep cathedral tower.
The fact that we get any books up there is really, it's really what's shocking.
No wonder it takes 3 to 5 days. You got to climb all the way down from the rookery where ravens deliver all the gifts. Yeah, trained ravens deliver all of your packages. Correct.
Yeah, we train them very extensively, and it goes really well.
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to have Dave sort of do that service for us. We're gonna like rebrand Dave and try to do
really
a full
good
rip-off of y'all, but we decided to be an art supply store instead. So missed opportunity.
Interesting.
Like.
Yeah, interesting choice. I kind of would have gone with the Daven one, but
the Daven. That was a terrible joke. I apologize to everyone. Very sincerely.
That was really good. No, you're wrong. It was really? A good joke.
Oh, thanks, Nikki. You're very kind. Well, that's good.
There's like lots of positives and negatives of working at this time, I think.
Yeah, we just have to be extra patient with everybody all the time now.
I know a lot of people who are working around in like local places, and there's been a lot of like impatience, kind of shockingly right now. And it's like really wonderful that like a lot of people in the community are like supporting all these places, but there are some not so great aspects of some people, but
yeah, so be so patient. I don't know what we did to deserve it. I think maybe all the impatient people got impatient with us and have abandoned us already. So we have a little bit less of that here, which is awesome. Also, we're like at a little bit lower rate of like turnover, so maybe we just able to keep up. We usually get things out within a day. So maybe they don't have time to get impatient, but people have been so kind to us, and I appreciate all of you. And thank you so much, because people are calling up like, we like your silly show, which is very nice of you. We're like learning from everybody here. So pat on the back to the people who are being patient.
There's so many lovely ones who are being patient.
Just do even more of it. Also, all the people who are still working in this time outside their homes have a little extra level of stress that people maybe judge you because you left to work.
Yeah,
that's not fun, is it?
That's not ideal. No,
it's not very fun.
I'm sorry.
Because some of us still want to be doing our things, and we can and do it safely.
Yeah,
that's a soapbox. There was a short one.
Safety.
There's so many new safety rules.
in progress. Yeah, that's what this is much safer, right?
Mhm. It's all good. Speaking of safety, we're going to be starting to sell basically at cost face masks at Wonder Fair
cool.
next week. If people are starting to get out there and need a better and more comfortable variety of masks, our friend Johnny, who also works in the Merc, will be providing some, and hopefully some of our own staff will be able to make us masks soon too.
So awesome.
That is unrelated to Stationer to the Stars. But since I made you talk about yourself, and I hope
Mhm.
that was okay, but I like hearing it.
That's
and I think
nice.
it
I like to
helps
talk about
to
it
tell your truth to
sometimes.
people, and then they will treat us like people.
What?
Yeah.
Are we?
I mean, you and I are celebrities on
Obviously,
a
yeah.
local home shopping network talk show.
People just come up to me all the time. They're like, "Oh my gosh, should I see you on Wonder Fair's Home Shopping
Mhm.
Network?" Because
But,
that's
yeah.
my favorite show, and I watch it every day. And I'm
Uh,
like, I know that you watch it every day because I do too, as well as everyone else in the town.
it's extremely flattering, but folks, we put our jumpsuits on one leg at a time, and then
Mhm.
one arm at a time, and then zip them up.
While
Just
we're
like
talking
everyone
about
else.
really cool people who are working right now, I really want to shout out to like the USPS. Like I know everyone's doing this, but like I'm really excited about it. I love them so much. I really just want to talk about so I send a lot of letters, as everyone who's met me kind of knows. And yeah, I like to buy things on Etsy a lot and stuff like that. And I have a lot of fun with it. And recently I was having some weird issues. I did a change of address a while back, a few months back, and I had realized recently that there was some stuff that just wasn't coming to me.
Oh, uh-oh.
And it was kind of weird, and it was really stressful for a minute there because I was like, oh my gosh, my pen pals, and and I had a package for some incense from Etsy that I was really excited to get, and it wasn't happening. Oh my gosh, Steve. And I sent out a report from their website because that was what was suggested to do or whatever. And I was expecting it to take a couple weeks maybe. I was time is not real anymore, and
Yeah.
they're super busy and a lot of stuff is happening. And that same day, our local person called me and was oh, I think it may have just been the individual carrier. I talked to him, we got it worked out. I think it should be good. And everything's been running really smoothly, including something that had been sent out before that I just never received, just appeared in my mailbox the next day. The carrier just was oh, I still have this, and put it in my mailbox.
Wow.
And it was just really amazing. And I was you are all working so well all the time. The fact that I was I expected at this point, considering the fact that people send mail all the time, every day, and
Yeah.
it's just everywhere. I'm I don't know how anything gets to anyone. I have no
Yeah.
idea how they don't lose stuff more often.
Yeah. They're coping
So I was
really
impressed.
well.
Yeah.
I will say USPS feels like they're more on top. UPS is so overwhelmed. Mike, our delivery person, told us that
Mhm.
it's more deliveries for UPS than Christmas season, but it's never ending and they're all completely exhausted. So if people could chill out on that a little and let us deliver things to you locally,
Yeah.
that'd be great.
There's
but
so much
USPS
going
is
on with
on it.
them.
I can't believe they were just oh yeah, I got that for them. Because your local carrier kind of knows you and your
Yeah.
address. Stan, our mailman,
I
knows
love
that we
Stan.
will not receive a Uline catalog, and he is under explicit instructions to immediately destroy the Uline catalog. And he offered that. He was I know you don't want these. Do you want me to just start recycling them as soon as they come in? If you tell me I can, I will. And we're yes, refused.
Fun fact, we receive one at the Raven every day. We receive a Uline catalog constantly. And he was this pandemic has not slowed down the Uline catalog.
It is unconscionable. Their waste of materials, in addition to their terrible politics. Please, a reminder, if you receive anything ever with Uline packing, get in touch in a gentle way with the person who sent it and say hey, I noticed you used Uline. Have you considered this? It's cool. I support you. But if you ever have a chance to switch, that would be so cool.
Mhm.
Let's just all do it. We used to have, when we had an intern and no money, this was many years ago, one time their job with me is we went through and we just called Uline for 10 minutes straight, telling them again and again, stop sending us the catalog. But they kept saying they couldn't do it. I don't need to tell a story. Anyway,
They're like, it's just impossible for us not to send catalogs constantly to you.
I felt guilty. I was like, this will be a quick, easy job. Like,
This is
call
you,
Uline, tell them they're dead to us.
You
And
get
instead,
them.
I wasted like 10 minutes of their time. So I
You
regret it.
gave it a shot, and I think that's you didn't know. You didn't know the truth, which is that it's impossible to stop them from sending you material constantly.
We got to look into the dark money of big catalog and Uline. There's some kind of
Do you think that's like
heinous,
someone's
unholy
specific
matrimony
job is just to
happening
like
there.
make sure everybody gets those U lines constantly? Like, what is
Mm.
who does it? I don't know. It's wild. Like someone who just like got the short end of the stick and has to like address all these U lines
I
to
have
random
so
businesses.
many questions about Uline. Anyway, Nikita, I sent you on a real wild hair. Is that the right word?
The wild goose chase.
Wild Goose Chase is
the fun
on.
one.
Nikita actually had stationery to talk about, but we
I mean,
goofed it.
I was
we did
talking
talk
about
the USPS.
yeah, communication and mail, and
I'm
just
so
trying
glad
to be
you
like,
got your stuff.
please, embracing Gemini season, send stuff through USPS.
Ooh,
to
I
your
bought
friends.
a tiny mailbox from the antique store.
This is the best thing I've ever seen. I just keep staring over at it and being like, I don't know why, but I desperately like. It's gonna be like I'm gonna think about it all day now.
I was
Like, this is
thinking
the coolest thing I've ever seen.
when all the staff is back, I'm hoping we can like drop little notes to each other in it, and then like there's no key, so we'll have to figure that out. But I'll find a
I'll get
falsy.
really good at picking
Anyway,
locks. I
oh,
guess.
man, it's your snack time.
Three
Finally.
snacks.
Okay, well,
This was
yeah, we shouted out
good. Mm-hmm.
our local workers
Mm-hmm.
and how much we're glad they're here and that we should all be nice and patient with them.
Mm-hmm.
We shouted out the USPS, who are literally doing the most.
Doing so much.
Well, maybe UPS is doing the most, but
Yeah, they're doing a lot.
USPS is doing it more affordably. And now let's shout out some stationery. What do you got to
Oh,
show us?
stationery
Gemini
time?
stationery.
Yeah,
time.
I just decided to pick out like a couple things I really liked because
Got it.
it's time to communicate with people. And this is finally the time after a very rocky period of time where I was like, don't talk to anyone. This is the time to do it because you'll actually probably be successful in it, hopefully. Yeah, we'll see. Gemini's a good sign for being successful and talking to people. The best way to do that right now, in my opinion, is sending stationery to people because who doesn't love to just like go to their mailbox and see a little letter in there? And the first one I'm going to talk about is this little sticker pack with a little stationery pack. It has
Panda.
pandas on it. We have a
So
couple
cute.
different options, but the panda one is the one I'm partial to because I just love them so much. And this one is like, I don't know, they're all in different little positions for little stickers you can use, and like they're so round.
Mhm.
And I love that about
Round
them.
boy.
And these little packs from Midori are really cute. They just come with some like little letter paper that you can use that also have like a little panda at the top of it,
That
which
panda
is
is
really
so cute.
adorable. And it's like kind of your choice of the animal. And then it also comes with like cute little envelopes. This one is a purple one with little like polka dots on it. And you can like seal it with the little panda sticker if you want, or just like, put it in there and then they can use the panda sticker.
Ooh, I had never thought of that.
Yeah.
I always use it as the sealer.
Yeah, it's good for a seal, but you can also just be like, here's a fun little like fuzzy panda sticker.
Yeah, it's fuzzy, folks. The white
Mhm.
part's kind of chenille-like. It has a lot of soft touch quality.
So soft,
So-
such good paper.
For all ages, that stationery set, in my opinion. Kids,
Mhm.
adults.
Yeah. Every age needs it.
Good stationery pick. What's next?
This is mostly Midori shout outs, I guess, but
That's me every
that's
day.
just like what I use all the time. Here's this little letterpress set from Midori.
Cute.
This one's really cute. It has little flower wreath around the paper that's included in it. I like these sets because there's just like a few sheets of paper in it. They give you some like little envelopes, and it's just like a good way to kind of spice up your stationery. I feel like it kind of like, I have problems where I like, if I just buy like a giant pack of envelopes or something, then I have to like figure out what I'm going to do with it. And like sometimes I just don't really want to do that. Like sometimes I just have to like have something that's already kind of set up for me to be cute rather than like taking stuff and like decorating a certain way or just like having it be plain. It's like just a little way to mix it up without like committing to like a huge pack of stationery to like send to people, like letter paper. And yeah, I don't have that pack in particular, but that one specifically speaks to me, I guess.
I love the
there's a lot of
oval shape of
options.
it.
It's like a really good shape. I like the
Yeah.
color scheme. Pink and blue are like two of my fave colors, so it's just a good combo together. Oh my gosh.
Speaking of good combos, Dave up on the
Dave
YouTube.
and
Just
Wonderful
sort of
Home
blocking
Shopping
it,
Network
but
is a
it's
good
okay.
combo.
Love that.
He did a little twirl for everybody.
So good.
His butt is just right on the screen.
Thank
It's
you,
just
Dave.
perfect.
Please feel free to send your letters on any cute or not cute stationery. Just sending a letter is cute,
Today.
inherently cute,
Mhm.
and quaint, and do it. Send them to Dave at Dave, 841 Massachusetts Street, Lawrence, Kansas 66044.
Meow.
Just a
Yeah.
plug.
Just a little plug for him.
So maybe it looks like maybe you got some options for folks for whom a cute letter is not quite the right tone.
Yeah,
Perhaps.
yeah. You're talking about this beautiful letter
Mhm.
pad. I have this letter pad.
Ooh.
It's a beautiful Midori, just like stationery pad.
So
It just is
creamy.
terrible off little sheets. They're really thin paper, but really soft, and they don't bleed through for fountain pens.
That's the word terrible, which is a
yeah,
homonym
terrible.
of terrible, but is spelled Tearable, as in you can tear it out.
Yeah, and that's like a positive thing
Yeah.
a lot of the time.
Yep.
For a lot of people.
Opposite of terrible, it's terrible. There's no way to say that, so they're not the same.
Terrible. Yeah.
It can't be done. It's not like me and
Just
pasta.
Spell it out. Pasta
Or pen.
pastas is my dream.
Pasta.
Shape the pens
pasta.
like pasta pieces.
Whoa, right with a noodle
At Pasca. That's
Dip
my
a
suggestion
noodle
for you.
in paint and then just wiggle it. Actually, that
Paint
sounds
your
really
pasta.
fun.
Pasta.
Paint
Just
with pasta. What if you had a whole like handful of spaghetti noodles, like pretty big,
Mhm.
and you just dunked it in a bucket of paint, and then you just went Pollock style, just like that would be fun.
pasta.
Pasta.
Everybody should do this and tell me how it goes. I'm gonna do it.
If we had more cameras, I would do it live on screen, but I have no way to show that, so I won't.
Okay, that sounds
I
good.
digress.
But yeah, it's a really cool pad of paper for writing letters, and it's like $8, I believe. So it's like super affordable for like a bunch of little sheets.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just simple. It's effective. It's like a warm tone paper. It's nice.
I like that as opposed to like using plain or even lined notebook paper that's still Tearable, terrible out. This has a margin around every side, which
Mhm.
makes it look sort of like gives you more breathing room for your eyeball. It makes reading the letter more restful. Plus, I love little doodles in the margins of this
Me
pad.
too, yeah.
I bet you're a doodler in the margins.
I am a
aren't you?
doodler.
Yeah,
I
I've
put
seen
a
your
lot of
cute
little
doodles.
frogs
Yeah.
around it usually.
And it's just cuter when it has that margin incorporated, which is pretty common to letter writing pads, but not to notebook pads. So if you
Mhm.
mostly use notepads in your life, maybe try out a letter writing pad. Slightly
Such a
different
nice-
names for slightly different styles of paper pads.
It's such a nice to like look to have the margin there. It makes me feel
Mhm.
really good.
Yeah. We really need to be focusing on the margins right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
In
I
our
see how it
communities,
works in so many
in our
different
letters.
levels. Yeah.
Anyway.
That was really good. Write that down.
Always trying to slide it in there. Just
Yeah.
little reminders all the time. All right,
That's
last
my
but
last
not least.
item. I just sent this as a graduation card to someone
Oh, good
recently. It's a seedlings card that says "You rock" with like a little person on like a giant mountain ? Yeah, that's
Cute.
a mountain. I was like, what do mountains look like? I don't know. It could be other rock
We're from
formations.
Kansas, folks.
We don't know.
We're not sure.
I've never seen one. But yeah, it's really cute. It has a little bit of like silver detailing on it. I like this as a solution. I get kind of tired sometimes of like writing out letters for people where I feel like sometimes I feel like I have to add in a bunch of like detail in the margins or like
Mhm.
extra fun stuff. And I like that with cards, you can kind of be like, I don't have to do that. You have like less space a lot of the time to write, so
Mhm.
you kind of don't feel as much pressure to write as much. It's kind of like more of a low key thing that I do for people.
So
That's still
right.
really thoughtful
Mhm.
because it's like I still care. I just don't
Mhm.
want it to be as much of like a brain commitment sometimes, but I
Yes.
want people to know I care. So I think it's like a fun extra solution. You can still throw a couple stickers in there, and that's still like a fun little touch. And yeah, sometimes I just like write on one side of the card and then just like make a little doodle on the other side of the card, and that's just
So
like
right.
a fun thing to do as well.
Good insight. I mean, the picture's worth 1,000 words, so you're starting way ahead of the game. All you need is a quick little thinking of you or frog
Mhm.
doodle.
That's
Frog
all I
doodle and you're
need.
done.
And
That's
the
a good one.
seedlings ones are so good because the envelopes are plantable and they have like wildflower seeds that are like not invasive. And so that's also just like a fun little thing for all the gardeners in your life and people who are very anti-lawn like I am.
Yeah,
That's
maybe
fun.
maybe maybe like 4.5 by a 6-inch envelope. If
Mhm,
you
yeah.
reseed your lawn one envelope at a time, I don't know
You're
how big
so
your lawn
close,
is,
yeah.
but you'll eventually take care of your lawn mowing
I
problem.
think you need like
It's gonna be a lot of
at least like 60 or 70 maybe, but
yeah.
just keep
But
buying them every once in a while
just
for
like
yourself.
it's a lifelong process. And if you've got a pen pal, you'll be friends forever. So I assume.
Aw.
I mean, I don't know. You have more pen pals than me, so I have basically 2 pen pals.
Nice.
I bet you have a lot of pen pals.
I currently have about 4.
Mm,
4.
that's pretty good.
I feel pretty good about it. Yeah, I have the furthest one is in Australia.
Wow,
so
you
that's
have an
really
Australia
fun.
pen pal?
Yeah, I have an Australian.
That's fun.
It's really
Wow,
cool.
how did
It's a
you
fun
meet
time.
them?
Via Tumblr. There's a lot of pen pal meeting pages on Tumblr.
Really? Like
yeah.
old time Tumblr? Or is Tumblr still around?
Tumblr is still around. It still does not function. In case
Okay.
you're wondering, is it better? No, but it still exists.
Okay, gotcha.
And once you're in it, you never leave. But I don't really use it. But I did meet them a couple of years ago on it, and occasionally I go back to the pen pal pages on Tumblr to find a new one if I like really want another pen
Wow.
pal. And it's
There's
kind of like a cool
Pro
resource.
tip: Stationer to the Stars Nikita recommends. Check out Tumblr. Is it just like Tumblr/pen pal? Like, how does Tumblr?
Yeah, if you like search it, there's like specific, some people have set up blogs to it, and there's some that are like under 20, and then there's some that are like over 20 kind of
As
stuff.
in
Like
age?
people kind of, yes,
Cool.
age-wise. So they kind of split it up age-wise and location-wise, because if you want to like send stuff only within like your country or your region so that it's like less postage, or like if you specifically want to talk to someone who's like male or, you know, like all that kind of stuff
Cool.
is sort of like split up. And
That
like you just
honestly
write your
sounds
interests and stuff. And
really efficient and like a great way to find a pen pal.
it's a really effective way to do it.
I
It's one
love-
of the pros that came out of Tumblr.
Uh,
Besides beautiful, beautiful black and white images with lyrics just
Lots of
splattered
fun
across
memes.
it from
We can all
Arctic
agree.
Monkeys. Oh, and great memes. Yeah.
Great memes, but I like that in the Tumblr community, the median bar of age is 20. So,
That's the middle. Yeah, you're either over 20 or you're under 20.
I'm worried that
Those are
means
the
I'm-
facts.
I think I might be too old to be a Tumblr pen pal because
I've seen some
I'm
people on there
over
who are like
35
30
now.
something.
So like surely under 5-year-olds are not on Tumblr. So I'm thinking it's like 5 to 20 and then 20 to 35.
No, there's definitely, I've seen postings from people who are like mid to late 30s
Okay,
before, but it is fewer who
So-
find Tumblr because
Well,
Tumblr is not necessarily.
let's take
That
back
conducive.
Tumblr like folks in the generation above mine claimed Facebook. Maybe that's what's going to happen.
Claimed Tumblr.
Like Facebook got taken from us, so now we're going to take Tumblr from you. Just I'm not.
Do it. It's
I'm
a
not-
horrible website, and I
I'm
wouldn't
not
recommend
gonna
it.
do
But you can
Tumblr.
do it.
I'm sure many of our audience don't care about Tumblr.
No, not even the people who really make it or use it. Not even the creators of Tumblr and the staff care about it.
The Schadenfreude of Tumblr's epic explosion in space was one of our more fond memories. A simpler time. A
It
simpler
was a
time,
nice
folks.
time. 2012 was
Now-
a good time.
Now, when social media platforms explode, they take you all out with them. So that's less fun. Tumblr did it
Mhm.
softly and gently in the form of like a ball pit,
Mm-hmm.
famously. So
Yeah, ball pit is really what I
you
think
should
about
Google
a
Tumblr
lot.
ball pit if you'd
You should
like
definitely
to
search that.
remember how things used to end in a funny way. And now it's all
Oh, it's so
ending in
sad.
such a scary and impactful geopolitical way. That's all I want to say about social media right now as we sign off of our Instagram television-based local broadcast.
You're like, it's all garbage. Please watch it.
I don't know, Nikita.
You doing well? You doing okay? Let's talk about you for a minute. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Okay.
We have an online web store now. It's something we never aspired toward. We were actually pushing pretty hard for the opposite. Brick and mortar's our jam. We will be back when it's safe. In the meantime, we're going to be here for you on internet, social media. I actually kind of like it. Just conscientious consumption is the name of the game, whether you're in a brick and mortar shop or you're on the internet. So let's just try to do our best, being patient people, not giving our money to demons.
Yeah.
I felt like I was
Correct.
really on a roll, so I wanted to make sure I didn't end on a high note. I wanted to keep it weird.
You were like, right at the
So-
end is where I really just destroy everything.
Nailed it. One to figure out, I think. Wrap it up, right, Paul? Can't do better than that. Nikita's so
I did it,
nice to see
yeah. I felt really good about that.
you. Great. All right.
Oh,
We'll
boy.
see everybody tomorrow. I'm going to be talking about notebooks. Bye, Nikita. I mean, not really bye. We hang out like 2 more minutes. But
Yeah.
bye, internet. I'm going to click a button on you now. Clicky, clicky. End stream.